Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
So, I mean, that took a lot of food because you're talking about the Thanksgiving holiday's a 4-day weekend. Well, then now we're getting ready to head over into, Christmas, and that's an even longer holiday. And you guys do, you think about that ahead of time when you send their food home.
Oh, absolutely. Like I have already delivered for actually this week, and I sent home 2 bags. Granted, it's not going to be able to, spread it for the whole 2 weeks that the kids are out of school, but it will help them far as to have a little here, a little there, and we're talking about 15 to 20 far as different food items for these kids, so we try to make sure that they have something. It may not far as have enough for the whole thing for the whole 2 weeks, but we try to make sure that they have something for that long period of time. We'll do the same with spring break. We've done the same for fall break. So excuse me, anytime that we have, some kind of longer break, we make sure that they have extra.
Well, I'll tell you, and that's part of it too. If you don't have extra in the available, it's hard to give that out.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where also the funds come in, into play far as the monetary donations or even the far as food donations. Our local library here done a food bank, and all the community members far as gave all kinds of different food, kid-friendly food items. And so I was able to get about 70 extra bags out of all of that food from them. And then we have local churches that also give as well. So, I had enough to do far as for that. But then I also had monetary donations that I could go and finish up because we currently right now have about 110 on the program.
It just blows my mind that 120 for
Yeah.
the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you really want to, like your Sunday school classes and a lot of stuff like that.
Heading back.
I'm sure that's a great project. I know of a couple of them that are doing that.
Heading back.
Instead of doing gifts and things amongst themselves for the Sunday school class, they're just taking their money and
Oh,
and a lot of them do $10 gifts or whatever, and if all of them throw in that $10, then you've now sponsored a child for a year.
right.
And that is just amazing when you think about it. Is that for $120, that's food and that's security for that child for
Right.
a year.
Yeah. And and it runs from September until May. It goes until the very last week of school, and I personally cannot go and buy a bag of food for 120, for $120.
Girl, I can feed mine for a week for $120. Are you kidding me?
Right. And that's where Feed America in Kentucky Heartland, Elizabethtown comes into play. Feed America, it is a nationally program, so it's all over our world that they far as are able to sponsor this, and then they get donations from larger companies where the cost stays down, so it's a great partnership with them, but then it's also a great program for our community to have as well.
Well, and that's one more. One of my kids in kindergarten, that takes a lot of load off of some of these parents, especially around Christmas.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And I understand some people may be proud or, don't want to be on this program, and I get that. I understand that, but all of this program is far as very confidential, it is very discreet for the kids. I know the ladies try very hard in our school system that is involved with it to make sure that, hey, look, little Johnny's got a bag of food. They really try really hard to not let everybody know that they're on this program.
Well, and they understand too. The kids can be cruel to one another.
Yes.
They are children and they have to learn, and they learn by example. But they are very discreet and they don't try to make it a thing in front of everybody. It's something that that kid teach them to not be too proud to ask for help.
Right.
If they're hungry and they're struggling, then that's okay because it happens from time to time. To the majority of us, at one time in our life, we needed some help.
Right, and that we've got families that are like that. Something has happened. They may have lost their job. Just whatever situation may be, and they have signed up their kid up for this program. But then within 2 months or a month, hey, I no longer need this because we are in better shape than we was. So we've also had that, to happen as well. So it's a great program, and I just cannot thank the community enough far as to sponsor this program, because it doesn't we cannot run without the support of our community and their monetary donations or their food donations, So I just want to thank our community for doing that. I love my little community. I really do.
I love
So,
this town. I'm going to tell you
yes.
that I've traveled around. I've lived some other places, and I'm telling you, I've never lived anywhere or been around a community that pulls together and helps each other and takes care of its own the way that this one does.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm proud to say that I'm from Princeton. And if anybody asks, I'm proud to say that. So because we have such a loving community.
Well, we sure do thank the extension office for all of you all do throughout the year, because I will tell you, you all are constantly busy helping, and anytime somebody's got a question and they come out there, I mean, it's always, if y'all don't know, you'll find out.
Oh, absolutely. And all of our information is research based. But speaking of that, we've got all kinds of good, exciting programs coming up in the first of the year.
Some of these I'm pretty stoked about.
Yes. So, just be on the lookout. Look for our signs, newsletters, newspaper, radio. We've got all kinds of different new programs coming available for our community to help, to help better serve them, in their lives as well. So I'm excited about that for the new year.
Health and wellness is something that's first of the year is gonna become. Let's just say they're going to be focusing on some health and wellness in the
Yes.
coming.
Absolutely. And that's okay. That's okay if they want to do that, because we're going to have a program to help them do that.
That's
So,
right.
but speaking of programs, my program, I'm here year round to help with that as well. If you've got a health issue and you need more help with that, far as maybe learning how to cook easier or healthier, or just learning a budget. I can help them year round with it. So
A program on basically if someone has diabetes and teaching them how to cook and
yes,
stop for that.
yes.
And I thought that was the neatest thing, because when I had gestational diabetes.
Uh-huh.
I had no clue there was sugar in half of the things that had sugar. I'm like, yeah, but that's a potato. It's not it's not a popsicle.
Right.
So you would be surprised, or I was, and a lot of times you don't think about those things until you got to think about those.
Right.
Things.
And that's where I can come into play. That's where Ashley can come into play. If you don't have any kind of far as information or have a question about any of that, we can help you out far as with that year round, not just the first of the year, but year round as well. So.
Well, tell them how to get a hold of you.
Okay, well, if you want to talk to me about anything with nutrition related, budgeting skills and that, you can call me out at our office, which is on 62 West. We've got a brand new sign out there, lit up sign, but our number is 270-365-2787. So.
Well, and I'll tell you, any holiday hours that you want to.
I will let you know, beginning next Monday until the 2nd of January, we will be closed. So if you do have any needs between that period, we are taking a little break. The university closes us down for us to be able to spend time with our families, because they think that's very important. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend times with our family.
You all earned it. If anybody has, I will tell you, you guys have definitely earned a break.
Well,
and we sure do appreciate everything you do. And again, thank you for coming out and seeing us. And we wish you an extremely happy holiday and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And she's going to help me get all nice and weight down next year, I think. I think that's what Joni she's going to teach me how, because I'm horrible at it. So, and if you hadn't listened, I was talking about cheese fries earlier, so that could be the problem.
Every once in a while, the cheese fries are okay.
Well, it's a holiday. We need to live a little bit.
Yeah, but you still need to be watching what you're eating too. So moderation, absolutely.
I'm telling you, the Bible says moderation, so I'm good. That's the one word I keep holding on to. Hey, it's 1580 103.3 WPKY. Hang out, Tess and Ty, and Coffee Talk is next.
1580 103.3 WPKY. It is 8:26 with Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk. And I'll tell you, about the time I think I could not get any more in the Christmas spirit. I'm a bah humbug kind of girl a lot of times. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of like the Grinch and I'm grouchy. But I kind of already got in the mood. I did, because the small town Christmas kind of got me in the mood.
You're
and
a
now,
mean one, Mr.
I know,
Grinch.
but you know what makes me... Frosty. I saw this nice little poster with Frosty on it, and a Frosty the Snowman. And that's one of my favorite childhood, like, cartoons and movies every year.
Man,
That's the one I always watch.
I used to bawl when they opened that, when he got a little warm. And you know what happened?
What?
Yeah, Frosty got warmed up and kind of, but then Santa opened the door, remember, and the cold hit him and he was back.
I love that, though. It's so cool. Oh, well, no pun intended, but it's great. It's a great movie. But I will say, now we've got a guest here. Who have we got?
We've got Lainey Begner here, and she has some exciting news about some of the really, really cool events going on out at HealthFirst Community Health Centers. Welcome this morning.
Thank you.
Tell us what you got going.
So we have a holiday open house at HealthFirst, and we are inviting Frosty to come, and we're gonna have Frosty treats. Also, we're gonna have activities. We're gonna have free health screenings.
Oh, wait a minute. You said free?
Yes.
That's always
Frosty and free and hell. I'm telling you, free's the main word right there.
Yeah, so we're super excited. Something for the kids, something for the parents. So yeah, we're super excited about Frosty.
And that event is going on, is that tomorrow?
It's today.
It's today,
actually,
okay. It's
from
today.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 today. So free health screening. So Frosty can sit down, get a blood pressure check, probably a cholesterol, sugar, and all that.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yes.
from 4 to 6.
Well,
Yes.
and it's after the kids get out of school, so you don't have to
Yes.
worry about, oh, they're at school, they can't do it. No, it's after school, right?
Right. And we're also going to have like a place to take pictures with Frosty as well.
Nice.
So that'll be exciting for the kiddos too.
Make a
see?
Christmas memory with
I
Frosty.
think that's going to be fun. Yeah, right. The last time I tried to take a picture with Frosty, it was...
But get your sugar checked before you have your hot cocoa, right?
Yeah. And don't
There you
stand...
go.
You can't stand beside Frosty with the hot cocoa either.
No,
do
you
that. That'd
Frosty's
be
pretty
bad.
careful about that,
So take the kids over there, and what kind of screenings have you got?
Yes.
So we have BMI screenings that we're going to do with
Uh-oh.
our dietitian. We're also going to do, the free blood pressure checks and blood sugar checks.
Nice.
And also if you want to get your flu shot too. So
Yeah, and that's still an important thing this time of year. A lot of folks
Absolutely.
will get it in October and November, but and so far the flu's kind of. I went out and looked at the national chart. So far,
Right.
not too bad in the state of Kentucky, but you know it's coming.
yes,
So
unfortunately.
get vaccinated
Well,
and
and
wash
I-
your hands a lot.
I've heard the
Yes, yes,
strain
yes.
this year is a pretty... It's a pretty nasty one.
Right. That's what we hear.
Of course, all insurances, or as far as if they get their flu shot, you
Yes.
should be able to take care of
Yes.
that. And they're not that expensive either. Most of them, they're pretty reasonable if you don't.
No, from what I understand, we take all insurances.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't come across one that we didn't take actually. So
Good deal.
Well, I know a lot of people will say, you know what, that's not a, you can, I've seen people that get it or whatever. Yeah, but it diminishes it. If you do get it,
Right.
it diminishes it, right?
that's from what I
Yeah,
understand.
you take if you get vaccinated, then if you do run across the old flu vaccine, the flu virus, it should at least keep you from it, or at least make it a little less.
Well, from
less
what
potent
I'm
for you.
hearing with this particular strain, that's going to be a
Yeah.
welcomed thing. Is shorter and less severe would be great. Remind us again those times and where you're located
Yeah,
at.
so HealthFirst Community Health Center. We're on South Jefferson, 1100 South Jefferson. We're having our holiday open house. We've invited Frosty to come, and we're going to have Frosty treats and activities and games and free health screenings from 4 to 6.
That sounds fantastic.
A good old-fashioned fun time,
Love
and
that.
staying healthy as well. You can't beat it from HealthFirst Community Health Centers.
What a great time to have an open house and get the kids and the adults in there. I like letting the kids come to the health center. That way they know not to be scared when they come there. It's a
Right.
fun experience for them. And I think
Yeah.
that really kind of teaches them, don't be fearful of it.
Big kids too. Frosty standing there, I feel pretty good.
I wasn't
about
gonna.
it. So-
I wasn't gonna tell everybody you had
Yeah,
phobias.
so Frosty's there helping me out, then I'll take it. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful event out there
Thank
today.
you.
Have a great one.
Appreciate
It is 8:31 with Tess and Ty. Stick around. Coffee Talk is coming up next.
Thank you.
All right.
Fifteen eighty 103.3 WPKY, Tess and Ty, and 8:32, and Coffee Talk is on the air. And this morning, we got our friend Charlotte Cotton. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a little while, but we're going to get back in order here, aren't we?
Well, I'll tell you, I think everybody's been so busy, and I know y'all have been busy. Of course, from the Caldwell County Animal Shelter, and you guys have been doing a phenomenal job out there as far as really getting things lined out and running smooth. And you've had some help this year, huh?
Things are going great. We have some new volunteers, and of course, I can't mention names sometimes, but we have some
Right.
people that are helping us as sponsors with some of the vet bills, and that helps great. Well,
Talk about a Santa Claus, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Also, we ask for some donations of paper towels. Let's see what else. Some throws to keep them warm. Also treats and things like that. And we've just had an overwhelming flow. So we thank the community out there for being so kind to us at the animal shelter during this season.
Well, and
'Cause
you
that
can
helps
always
the animals
use-
to have a Merry Christmas too.
Well, I mean, come on. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily have a full house of people that are coming over for the holidays. But you know what they do have? They have their best friend sitting beside them on the couch, and that's a little furry friend.
That's right. I did want to say a little bit about if you plan on giving a pet for Christmas, don't surprise a person. You need to know that person wants an animal. If you're giving a child a puppy, remember, in about 6 to 8 weeks after you get that puppy, there's going to be a lot of responsibility as far as vet bills goes, feed for them, or
Training.
Training, yeah, that's the
That's
main
the
thing.
biggie in it.
So you don't come in and find that they have destroyed your sofa and this kind of thing. But that's what happens. A lot of people give them for Christmas, and then in 8 weeks after that, they think, oh, this is too much responsibility, and they end up at the shelter. And we don't want that to happen.
Well, it takes
So
a lot of time, too.
It
You need to
does. The training
understand
thing,
there's
like Ty
time.
mentioned,
Yeah.
takes time.
And dedication and perseverance and patience and the
Absolutely.
adjectives go on and on. So
Now, if someone wants a partially trained dog that's really doing really well, we've got one that's been at the shelter for a while. He's a 5-year-old pit, and he's white. He will sit. He will fetch. He will stay until you throw his toy and say fetch or whatever. I've been working with him. So he's my buddy or whatever. But we need to find him a home. He needs to get out of there.
can you give him up?
What?
Could you give him up to a good home?
I could, but I don't really want to. He stays in the office with me and and everything.
What a
So
cutie. What's
he's-
his name?
His name's Bodie, Bodie.
Bodie.
Yeah.
Aw.
The pit mix?
Well, I think he's pretty much full-blooded.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
I'll tell you, there has been some of the cutest pictures. If you want to see some cute pictures, go to the Caldwell County Animal Shelter page because they've got some adorable
Oh,
pics.
because Judy does a great job of our
Yes,
pictures
she
and
does.
posting. And like we had a dog brought in Saturday, and within an hour, the owner had already come to claim it because she posted his picture and said we found him or whatever. And so they came out within an hour. So
Well, and I'll
she
tell
does
you,
great.
that is one thing we did want to add because it is cold temps, and when, especially with hunting season and stuff like that, right? Everybody's been kind of running. We've got a lot of hunting dogs that have gone missing lately. What do we do if our dog, if it gets lost or it runs away from us, and which they're going to do from time to time? What do we do immediately?
Well, immediately call 365-1000 and we can maybe help you out. Because people will call us sometimes and say, well, I saw this hunting dog running across 293 North at so-and-so area or whatever. And so if you call, we'll say, hey, we know your dog's in a certain location, possibly, so they can go and start looking there.
So, and if you do, and maybe you didn't lose one, maybe you found one.
Well-
Even if you found one, that you still need to call and let you guys know, right?
A lot of people are excuse me, are hesitant about bringing them to us at the shelter, so they call us and they maybe want to hold them 2 or 3 days, and let the owner call them. That's fine too, because
Just try to find them a home, right?
just try to find their home. That's right. And
Because it's cold, and the cold does affect the pets as well.
oh, certainly, yes, it does.
And what do they, the temps, when they get down way into the 20s, that can be deadly, for some animals,
Oh,
especially
certainly-
if they're elderly.
Certainly can. So if your dog's outside, make sure it has a good house and lots of warm bedding in it.
Now, what's better, warm water with the heaters and stuff in it, or is it cold water? Which one's better for them if they're outdoor animals?
Well, warm water, not extremely warm, but warm water is better. When I was a child, I thought, well, why do you need to water this dog so much in the wintertime? I find my outside dogs at home, they drink more water in the winter than they do the summer. I
Right.
don't understand that, but that's just something about their system. So it's very important they have water, although it's cold. So don't think I don't need to give this dog water because it's going to make him more cold. Give him warm
Right.
water. But these waterers that are heated are great because you don't have to worry about them freezing and then being without water for a few hours or something.
Well, now I've heard like the number one concern, and what really makes an animal, especially one that lives outside, that's dangerous for them. It's not so much the cold as much as it is the wet. Is they need to stay dry.
Oh, that's very, very important. You're absolutely correct. That's more important water than maybe if they go a couple of extra hours. You're a little late getting home maybe, and they'd go a little couple of hours without their feeding time, regular feeding time. Say it's usually 7, it ends up being 9. That's not very detrimental. It's like you said, keeping them dry is a big issue.
And is it because they've got a couple of different layers of fur? It's like the outer fur and the inner fur, and you want to make sure that it doesn't get down in. And
most dogs
soaked.
do, but some dogs like pit bulls have a very thin coat of hair.
Now, see, that's
They are-
great to know.
They are very fine hair, very thin hair.
Because and they're a bigger dog. A lot of people might think that they could actually
Yeah, that they
fare
can-
better than some of the other ones.
Your Huskies, German Shepherds, and those that have the dual coats and everything, they can handle the weather a lot better than some of the other dogs.
Well, I had a Pyrenees that loved the cold weather. She would go out. Oh, she loved it.
Oh, they'll curl up in the snow.
Yeah,
to
that was her
sleep.
happy. That was her happy place when there was snow.
Right.
But then you have the Labrador that goes, "Come on, really? It's cold." So thank you so much. Give them your phone number once again.
365-1000.
And you got people available out there, or some pups available out there that need adopting?
Well, we have some dogs available. We don't have any pups right now. We had some pups as of yesterday, but they went to a rescue. And
Aw, well, that's awesome. We love a good feel good story, especially when it comes to those
let
animals.
me say just a little bit real quick about
Yeah.
about rescues. People say, well, why are they better? Why are they better than the shelter or whatever? Well, here it is. A rescue will have a foster for those pups before they get there. They don't accept them from us unless they've got fosters for them. Those fosters, they take care of the training and start adjusting this dog into a home. Some of them even decide to adopt them and keep them. But if not, they foster that pup until it has a permanent home.
Okay.
And it's getting training all the time or whatever.
Well, then that makes them more attractive
so they
to
just don't
other
they
people.
don't accumulate them and keep them in a confined area like we have to. They're in a home waiting to get their permanent home.
Well, it's easier to get them adopted out if they're trained
Certainly.
and kind of
Absolutely.
rehabilitated in a way, right? Okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you said that because I mean, a lot of people don't understand that there is a difference.
Right.
There's a difference between, a foster and then a shelter and then a rescue.
Right.
Okay.
But if anybody still wants to make donations, we can still use some paper towels. But other than that, we're in just pretty good shape right now. We thank everybody again for donating and having heart.
Well, thank you so much. And again, 365-1000. And tell them where you're located.
489 Baker Hill Road.
Thank you so much. And happy holidays. And give them all big hugs and kisses from us.
We'll
okay?
do that.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Charlie Cotton
Thank
with
you.
the Caldwell County Animal Shelter. Come on back. Coffee Talk is next. 1580 103.3 WPKY.
53 under sunny skies. Again, for today, you can expect clouds in the morning and then clearing in the afternoon, a high near 37.
This weather update brought to you by the Cat's Den on Farmersville Road, Princeton. Food cooked to order and plate lunch specials on Sunday. You won't leave hungry.
Do the winter blues have you down? You are not alone. Seasonal depression affects many people. If you are experiencing periods of low energy, social withdrawal, hypersomnia, or other symptoms of depression, seek help from one of our licensed professionals with HealthFirst Community Health Center. Visit their website, healthfirstchc.net, or contact their office at 270-365-9455 for more information. HealthFirst Community Health Center is located at 1100 South Jefferson Street in Princeton. At HealthFirst, your health is our first concern.
At Christmas time, we gather around the dinner table with family and friends. There's nothing better than knowing your meal is mouthwatering for you and your guest. Nose Barbecue will smoke a pork shoulder or ham over hickory coals, low and slow, the old-time traditional way. Call to order no later than December 18th and pick up your pork shoulder or ham at Nose. You can also book catering for holiday parties. Located right by Barkley Dam and the Big Blue Bridge in Grand Rivers. For more information, check out Nose Barbecue's Facebook page. 1580 103.3 WPKY 842 with Tess and Ty, and Coffee Talk is on the air. And of course, friend of ours, Ty, I do believe Miss Creasy is here with us.
Carla Harper is here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I said her maiden name.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. She is the executive director at the USDA FSA office here in Princeton and for Caldwell County. Good morning and welcome.
Her mama will get a kick out of that later, though.
I'm sure.
Good
sure
morning,
she
Miss
will.
Betty.
I'm sure she will. So thank you. Thank you for being here. It's been a little bit since we've had FSA on in USDA office. Shane Bogle was in a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, we've got a new director out there." And I said, "Well, let's get her in here." So welcome and good morning.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to be back in Princeton
Yes.
at the Farm Service office. I've had the privilege to come back at the end of October, and so trying to hit the ground running with outreach, and we've been busy with different programs and that kind of stuff too.
Obviously, you got those local ties. Give us a little bit about your background and your local ties here to Caldwell County and the community.
Born and raised in Princeton. I graduated from Caldwell County, went off to Murray, graduated from there. Then I actually moved to Carla County and worked with Extension. And then when Debbie Merrick retired with the FSA office here, I was able to transfer from FSA in Carlisle to Princeton. And so then I had the opportunity to go into a training program, and then now I'm back as executive director.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Well, and I'll tell you, FSA, that's one of those things that most of us have a million questions, because I promise you there's no way that any of us could remember it all. And we need you. I mean, you're a very necessary person out there. What is available to everybody right now? I mean, is there something new?
Well, there's lots of programs going on. The big one right now is the Conservation Reserve Program, which is, most people call it CRP. We haven't had a general sign-up in a while, and we have one going on now. The deadline to sign up for that is February the 28th, so we have a little bit of time, but now everybody can't wait till the end of February to decide to sign up for it. There are some eligibility things that you have to meet. You have to have a cropping history. You have to have 4 out of 6 years from 2012 through 17. It's at least a 10-year contract. And rental rates on that, it just depends on, every contract's different because it's based on your 3 predominant soil types. So if somebody's interested, they can stop by the office and talk to Dee Dee or myself, and we will be happy to give them all the information that they need.
You know, back in the day, Shane and I had talked about that before, that, you know, back in the day, all you had to worry about is, you know, who's picking up the tobacco base this year. You know, and now you've got the FSA programs and you've got the CRP. And, you know, if you're a landowner and the only problem I think I see across the board with anybody is that they just don't know whether they qualify or not. They don't realize that hay is an actual crop, it doesn't have to be corn, so, I mean, or maybe they don't qualify this time, but, what can I do to qualify next time? So all of this stuff is great questions, and I'll tell you, even I have about a ton of questions about it. So, I mean, how do they find all of that stuff out and get it all laid out?
Well, they can either call our office. Our number is 270-365-6530, extension 2, or they can go to the FSA website, which is www.fsa.usda.gov, and there's all kinds of programs on there, or they can stop by the office, and we'll be happy to help them however we can.
Well, even upkeep on some of that can be a little bit different, and there are regulations and that sort of thing that go along with even upkeep or bush hogging, right?
Yes. With CRP, you can't go out there and bush hog it and cut it every year. Depending on what conservation plan you go in, we really recommend that it is strip mowed. So every you get in a 2 or 3 year rotation, you go out there and you mow a strip, then you skip a strip, mow another one. That's one thing of it. There's certain grasses and stuff that has to be put in place. And with the general sign-up, there's different ways to get points. So if you're interested in pollinators, that might be something that's added. Or if you need wildlife food plots, sometimes we can allow for those things too.
Well, because at the end of the day, conservation is the name of that. That's what we're doing this for, correct? Mm-hmm. And even hunting. I mean, you come down to even, hunting. Like, can you hunt it? Can you not? There are so many things that change, too. Like a few years ago when we were in a drought, there are certain things that become open to, that particular program during a drought, too, right?
Right. If the need arises and you need to cut it for hay or something, we can do that. Now you will probably have a reduction in your annual payment. Talk to us first. That way it's not a violation, and we'll set up a plan to work with you on that. The other big thing is sometimes people, if they're not mowing it correctly, you get a lot of extra woody growth, and that can create problems too, because if you got trees growing out there, that's not really what our program's for either. So if you notice that, then you can come in and talk to us and NRCS, and we'll come up with a plan to help you control that to where you still stay in compliance.
Okay, I want them to know that just because they put it in CRP does not mean that your hands are tied for years and years and years, and you can't ever do anything in an emergency situation. And in years where our weather is extreme, there's a lot of different things that is an option.
Right, but just make sure you come in first. Just don't go out there and do it, because
Right.
that's when people usually get into trouble. But like I said, we will work with you and tell you what your options are. But like I said, talk to us first.
Well, it's so much better when, especially with you being from here, it's comfortable. A lot of people know you and your family to be able to come out and talk to you and say, look, I've got questions. Look, this is what I need to do. It's so much nicer to see somebody you know.
And tell us about your staff. You mentioned Dee Dee. I know Dee Dee's been out there for a good while. Tell us about some of the staff you have out
Dee Dee
there.
Bell. She's been out there for several years. She handles the CRP program, payment eligibility. Those are the big ones. We've also got some other programs she handles. Then we also have Patricia Estes, who came to us earlier this year. She transferred from Hopkins County, so she had experience with FSA, but she lived here, so it gave her an opportunity to be closer to home. And she handles like our base programs, our ARC PLC, which is ag risk coverage or price loss coverage. She also handles most of the loans that we do in there. So if you've got corn, soybeans, wheat stored in a grain bin and you want a market assistance loan, she would be the one to talk to. Also, if you were interested in potentially building a grain bin or needed some handling equipment, we also have farm storage facility loans, and Patricia handles those.
Well, and there's a whole financial side to that, and people that know what they're doing far better than we do.
And then also, as far as loans go, we've got Shelly Ezel from the farm loan team out of Hopkinsville. She's been coming every Wednesday from 3 to 9, or 9 to 3. I'm a little backwards on my time. But she's coming over, so if anybody's interested in potentially farm operating loans, farm ownership loans, there might be some assistance available if you can't go to the bank because your credit's maybe not as good. Shelly has lots of options that could be potential, and also youth loans. So if you know anybody that's youth age that's wanting to start a cattle operation or some different types of things, she would be the one to talk to on that.
Well, and I'll tell you, there's different options out there for like youth and women and minorities, and there's especially the state of Kentucky has been absolutely phenomenal about staying on kind of the cutting edge of that. And you guys have all of that information as well, right?
Plethora of information, of course, with the USDA, FSA, of course, that there are .gov websites out there, all of them to get you that information, of course. Tell us a little bit about, of course, this is a Farm Bill year, I think. So how does that affect your office and some of the things that are upcoming? Because, I mean, it can really make things kind of crazy.
And it has. I mentioned the ARC, PLC programs. Which Farm Bill year, but we kind of run a little bit behind when we start. So we have that sign up going from up until March to sign up for 2019. You can also sign up for 20 as well. Also, we haven't been able to update our yields on the farms that go along with those bases. So if you want to do that, we have until March to get that. Well, actually, we have till September to get that done. But now would be a good time to come in and see what all we need. Basically, you just come in and self-certified what your yields were for the years that you had those crops. And as long as it's pretty reasonable, we're going to plug it in. Now, you could always get pulled for a spot check, and you have to back it up at that point.
Right.
But at this time, as long as it seems pretty reasonable, you just have to tell us what we need to know.
Okay.
Well, and I think, again, thank goodness they're out there, too. And you guys even do a lot with kids, like in school and conservation and...
Well, we are happy to come out and help whenever, but that's really probably more the conservation district, and they're across the hall. But and we've got some new people in there that would be happy to come and help and do at the schools and different things.
Nice to have neighbors, and we certainly are glad that you're home and out in this position. It's always great. I know for our farmers, we certainly appreciate them and everyone in our agricultural community because we get to eat because of them, and we can't thank them enough and for what your office does to support our farmers and producers. So certainly appreciate that, and you need to give us some contact information if those of us have questions, and we'd like to get in touch with you all out at the FSA USDA office location. That most everybody that around here knows where that is, but go ahead and throw it out there to us.
We are at 501 Parkway Drive, which most people say, "Oh, you're behind McDonald's." Yes, we are. That's where we're located, so you can welcome to come in. Our office hours are 8 to 4:30. Usually, there's somebody there before that, but for sure 8 to 4:30. Our telephone number is 270-365-6530 and extension 2. You can just go ahead and push that because otherwise it's a long recording and you get lots of different options.
So hit that too.
Sounds good.
Well,
so if you've got questions about what you've already got on your CRP or your base or what you can do, there's your girl.
A lot of stuff goes on out there that people don't realize and vital to our community. And we can't thank you enough. And we're so glad you're here today. And we want you back more and more to tell us and keep us up to date with what's going on out at our USDA FSA offices.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Glad you're home.
Yes.
Hey,
That is Carla Harper, and she's our new executive director at the
Love
USDA FSA office. So
it's 1580 103.3 WPKY. Hang on just a second. We're gonna have we're gonna have Todd Griffin in the house. How about that? I'll just leave it at that. 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
clouds in the morning, giving way to sunshine this afternoon. A high near 37. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 23. Sunshine for Thursday as well, a high 47. Low Thursday night of 28. And Friday, partly sunny, a high 49. Saturday looks great as well, with a high of 53 under sunny skies. Again, for today, you can expect clouds in the morning and then clearing in the afternoon, a high near 37.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
1580 103.3 WPKY, 854 with Tess and Ty. And I'll tell you, Ty Englebright, man, have we had a big day today. I mean, we have had comings and goings on, and you've been out and about today.
I have, and we didn't get to break the tennis coach news yesterday. But Todd, we've got had Steve Kukiko in yesterday as our new tennis coach, and it's 8:55 on this Wednesday, and Todd has some news. I'll tell you about mine in a minute, but Todd's got some news I think he wants to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have some breaking news. Do we have some breaking news music?
I don't know. It's been that kind of day. I should have pulled some, huh?
Actually, it's breaking news unless you've been following us on social media over the last 20 or 25 minutes. You probably already know this, but Caldwell County High School has a new football head coach. His last name is Barnes. First name is Will. Will Barnes is the new football coach at Caldwell County High School.
Congratulations. Cannot say congratulations enough.
There were 7 applicants for the position, which is a pretty hot commodity in the football coaching ranks. Caldwell County may be underappreciated sometimes in the vastness of the Commonwealth, but in our little corner of the world, that's a pretty coveted little position. And 7 applicants. Will was the only local applicant for the position. And when you look at his experience, and not just as player in college, but as an assistant high school coach. He's coached in the system camps, going around the country, installing offenses, teaching the quarterback position to a lot of players. I used to joke with David Barnes that Will knew the offense better than he did. And he agreed with me.
And he's been calling it for several years now.
He's basically been offensive coordinator here for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, the great thing is it looks like the entire staff will be back and will continue on. And that's another thing that Coach David Barnes talked about for years and years was the continuity on the staff. I think David was hired in 2006, and pretty much the staff that's there now is the staff that was there when he was hired.
I love that the T-shirts that everybody wears right now says Barn Strong. That can continue. That's a legacy that I think will mean a lot to the kids as well, don't you?
Absolutely. And, when you look at that coaching staff, again, any of those guys could have been head coach and done a fantastic job. You look at Wayne McGowan as the interim head coach last year, and David died 6 days before the regular season began. And what those guys were able to do, and just, that hurt a lot of people. That hurt all of us. And
yes,
they were able to somehow persevere, went out and won 8 games, which I thought was fantastic.
With a pretty tough schedule.
Yes, absolutely, and pulled out several games at the end. I mean,
that Murray game sticks out to me.
Yeah,
that was one of those that just kind of stuck.
But
to watch them when they come on the field and they just kept trying. They never gave up. And that coaching staff, again, you can't say enough with games like that where they are just really behind those kids and give them the encouragement to go out and keep going and keep fighting.
Yeah, they fought all season to go 8-3, which again, I thought was fantastic. I thought everybody involved did a fantastic job last year, and excited moving forward because I think the Tigers are going to be pretty good this coming year. I think there's it's certainly not the end of a run. I think another run is about to begin, and this past season was kind of a bridge year, at least to me, waiting for some talent to come in and some guys to mature a little bit, and there was a really small senior class this past season, so that kind of led to thinking, hey, maybe this is a rebuilding year, or maybe this won't be. You get spoiled because we've been winning 8, 9, 10 games every season, and I don't know if a lot of us saw 8 wins this past year, and by golly, they went out and won 8 games.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, though, for the people that weren't maybe in the know of what was going on in Caldwell and the rebuilding year that we kind of had to go through and all of the tragedy that the kids had to go through, you really couldn't tell. If you were it's somebody that wasn't in the know of all of it, you're just a spectator watching it happen. I don't think you could tell.
Well, and it was a stunning season, not just to go 8-3, but every game when you saw those kids come out and somebody's holding a plaque that says Barn Strong on it, and 2 kids are carrying out jerseys of kids that passed away and weren't with us, and just
sort of
remarkable
numbing.
team.
It's in a way, I think you touched on it, because there was sort of a numbing feeling. It was just kind of numb, but yet it's a testimony to that entire staff. Coach McGowan is interim, and of course those kids, just doing what they did this year, all of them, and. Boy, what a piece of news this morning for us, and I'm sure that the coaching staff as well is ecstatic because, again, you said those guys have been together for a long time, and that name at the head coaching position is special.
So proud and happy for them.
Yeah, again, Will Barnes, the new head football coach at Caldwell County, and I know David Barnes would have been proud of the team this past year and the coaches and just everybody, and he has to be proud of this too.
Of course, Todd Griffin with us this morning from YourSportsEdge.com and WPKY Princeton as well. And what does this mean from here on out for Will? I mean, what does that mean starting today? What does that mean going forward for him?
I think it means a lot of continuity in the program because Will's already been running the offense for, the last 3 years. He's done a really good job at it. I think we averaged over 30-something points a game the last 3 years, about 33 points and over 300 yards of offense. And Will has said that he has some new wrinkles he wants to put in, so we'll see what happens there. We do have a story up at YourSportsEdge.com, and it's on all our social media platforms. Your Sports Edge, WPKY, WKDZ. Am I forgetting anything, Ty? Is that everybody?
WHVO.
WHVO.
But extra read all about it, right?
And have a video with Will, a video interview that's uploading right now that will be up shortly this morning. So pretty exciting news. And again, 7 applicants for the position. Will was the only one locally that applied for the job. And from what I understand, he was clearly the best candidate for the position.
Everybody's happy here. I was so happy to hear about that. Congratulations. I think it's good, heartwarming thing, I will tell you. Right here before the holidays, perfect timing.
Well, and I think you'll see a Tiger football team that you've become accustomed to on the field. We're still going to spread the ball and throw it around a little bit, and I'm interested to see exactly what kind of tweaks that Will's going to implement, and just having a young guy in that position can be a bonus because he brings a lot of fire to the position, and not that the rest of us and everybody's getting old or anything, but
of course not.
Well, and for these juniors and seniors, I mean, as far as colleges, that's gonna help maybe get some people looking that might not have before.
And he probably relates to the kids a little bit easier than some of the older generation does. So I think there are a lot of positives in that. And when you look at Will Barnes, this was a guy that could have been on a college coaching staff someplace. Mm-hmm. So to get a guy like that to come in and run the team, and I don't think the Caldwell County football program is going to miss a beat.
I don't think so. No, and he knows the system. We're talking about Tony Franklin's system about as well as anybody. He's helped out with those clinics and has studied it. And the wrinkles are going to be exciting, as you say, as we come down the pike. That'll be interesting to see.
And the big thing, just keeping all those guys together.
Yes.
You saw this past season what they can do.
It's a family. But that's one of the things we talked about a lot, and I heard Bob and Dennis talking about a lot on the air, is the bond of the team. And we said that over and over and over this year, is, they just look so bonded. They look so bonded. Well, I think that kind of continues that, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Again, you can look at every one of those coaches, and they could all be a head coach someplace. I mean, it's
in their
tough.
own right, yeah.
It's difficult to find a high school coaching staff like that, especially at a smaller school where you've just got guys with years and years of experience, and not just the experience, but have all been successful.
Yes.
Well, and now you've got even down to the middle school level, these kids and these players that already know them, and junior pro. These are kids that are already familiar with them. So that's a bond there.
And I'm excited about the upcoming season. I just think,
I am too.
It's going to be a tough schedule. It's the same schedule as last year with just the home and away dates swapped. But, you talk about opening against Christian County. You've got to go to Owensboro Apollo.
Yeah, but Murray's got to come here.
Yeah, Murray's on there still. Mayfield's on there still. But, Crittenden County is always good. The Tigers have had their number for some time now. But I think Crittenden County is kind of on the way back up. So, there aren't not any easy dates really on there.
Not any gimmies.
Yeah.
Well, and knowing those guys, guess what? They're working on it right now.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sure they're already in the weight room trying to get better.
No doubt about it.
Already talked about what they want to try to do over the summer as far as 7-on-7 things. Will said they might go down to McCracken County. They have a big 7-on-7 event down there in the summer, and it's kind of divided up. They have a big school scrimmage and